Welcome back, everyone. As you probably guessed from the title of the video, as well as the thumbnail, we are talking about Attorney General Pam Bondi and the Second Amendment today. So I was actually planning on making the main subject of this video, which we'll get to here in just a second, for a few days now, discussing what is going on with President Trump's executive order on the Second Amendment and what hasn't happened so far. However, we had some good news recently, as of about 4 hours ago when I'm recording this video. We had some positive news for the Second Amendment coming out of the Attorney General's office. So let's cover that first and then get to President Trump's executive order. So Attorney General Bondi, according to the New York Times, has created a working group within the Department of Justice specifically designed to streamline the process for nonviolent felons, people essentially who should never have lost their gun rights, to get their gun rights back. And oddly enough, the case that spurred this was the case of Mel Gibson, the Hollywood actor, and him having his Second Amendment rights revoked. But apparently that case is going to do some good for more Americans right now. And basically, like I said, it's a working group within the Department of Justice to identify people who have had their Second Amendment rights taken away who never should have lost them. And then additionally, the secondary task of that group, from what's been reported by the New York Times, again, just giving them credit, is that they are tasked with creating an automated system that identifies these cases and restores the Second Amendment rights of the people impacted by them. So that is good news. I do not know all the details of it because, like I said, the story just broke. We haven't heard anything. Attorney General Bondi hasn't given any statements on it or anything like that. So that is the news there. On a good note for the Attorney General. Now, getting on to the executive order. So many of you have probably realized, especially if you follow me on social media because I posted about it when it happened, that the executive order timeline that was given to Attorney General Bondi to create a plan to fix the Second Amendment violations that occurred under President Biden, and of course any other Second Amendment violations as well. Hopefully you guys can't hear it, but there's a dog, like one of those little yipper dogs, barking in the background. It's kind of annoying. Anyway, hopefully you guys don't hear it. But President Trump, of course, on February 7th, I believe, issued the executive order on the Second Amendment to attack the things. It didn't say in the executive order what they were, but it's pretty obvious what they were, that were put into place under President Biden. And within 30 days of this order, Attorney General shall examine all orders, regulation, guidance, plans, international agreements, and other actions of executive departments and agencies to assess ongoing infringements of the Second Amendment rights of our citizens and present a proposed plan of action to the President through the Domestic Policy Advisor to protect the Second Amendment rights of all Americans. There's other things that go on after that. Now, it's certainly possible that that was given to the President. However, if that happened, very likely we would have heard about it. So odds are very good that it probably didn't happen, especially with all the other things going on with the Attorney General, as well as the FBI right now. They may have just pushed this one to the back burner. That's certainly what it looks like. And what are the things that can very essentially immediately be fixed? Well, there's a few of them. Of course, the determination by the Department of Justice under President Biden that FRTs were in fact machine guns, that can be fixed immediately. The engaged in the business rule, which was determining very incoherently, I would say, who is engaged in the business of firearms and should be operating under an FFL versus doing private transfers. That was expanded essentially with no limits under the last administration. The next big one that affects probably the most people on this list is going to be the brace pistol rule. Of course, braces have been around for well over a decade now, owned by more than 10 million Americans, and they were saying that overnight all the people that owned a brace pistol now are in possession of a short barrel rifle and were in fact committing felonies punishable by 10 years in prison for each one. That needs to go away immediately. The ghost gun / frame and receiver rule, in my previous video I made on this topic with the executive order, I made the case that the Attorney General essentially should be able to overturn that by themselves. A lot of you guys in the comments actually said that you wanted that to go to the Supreme Court, so that way it was actually ruled on by the Supreme Court, feeling that that would give it a little bit more of, I guess, cement in U.S. law, if that makes sense. I kind of get that. So I know where you guys are coming from on that, so I appreciate the feedback on the last video there. So either way, either that case can go to the Supreme Court or the ghost gun frame and receiver rule can just be changed by the Attorney General, because that, of course, is a policy using Chevron deference, which, of course, we shouldn't have anymore, but for some reason we still do. And then additionally, the last one that's very easily changed is the zero tolerance policy for FFLs, resulting in the most revocations of FFLs in terms of a percentage anyway, as well as total in decades. So all of those can be changed immediately, and none of those have happened at all. It hasn't happened, and it should have happened according to the president's executive order. So that is where we are at. We have kind of a two-piece story for you as it relates to Pam Bondi. It was going to be a one-piece, being that she didn't meet her deadline. However, again, we had some new news that just came out a couple hours ago that actually looks to be positive. So as always with Miss Bondi, a lot of us are cautious because of her track record in Florida on her history. So we will be watching her in the Second Amendment community, that is for sure. I'm not the only one, so we will see how it goes. But that is the latest update on both the Second Amendment working group as well, which, of course, if you guys saw my videos on the Rahimi case at the Supreme Court, I talked about that as well. That Rahimi ruling, which was a prohibited person ruling, is going to go into that working group, I would have to guess. That seems very likely to me. So that's probably a follow-up video that will be happening once I learn more on that. I can pretty much, I don't want to say guarantee, but I can say pretty strongly that that very well probably played into this working group and what will come out of it. Again, if it is done the way I envision it anyway. Maybe it won't be, we'll see. But that is all I have for you guys today. If you guys aren't following me on social media, like I said, please do. That is where these stories break first before I have to come out here and do a full YouTube video and all the editing and everything that goes into that. Additionally, if you guys like this type of video and you're not subscribed, easy way to fix that, hit the subscribe button on both YouTube and Rumble. And then if you've already done that and you're still not seeing 2 to 4 videos a week here on the channel, easy way to get around that is to sign up for the email list at the website here on your screen. And this will get you put on 2 different lists right now. It will get you put on the email that goes out once a month with all of my videos since the previous email. So that way there's no big tech giant censoring your eyes from my content, i.e. an algorithm. And then it'll also get you put on the daily deals email. And of course you can opt out of any of these emails whenever you want, but almost no one does. That will get you put on the daily deals email. It goes out every day as the name indicates, and it has 8 usually of the best deals that we find around the internet. If the item, whatever that item is in the email on a given day, it's the cheapest that I know of anywhere on the internet for that item. So that way it saves you guys some time and hopefully some money, because I've already done the price comparisons for you. There's also a good meme in there that a lot of you guys like. So if you're interested in that, check that out at the website here. And then we also have an SMS text list that goes out at most once a day. And it either has one of 2 things, and it either has, well, one of 3 things, I should say. It either has the best deal that we've seen around the internet for a guns and gear type of item, or it has a link to a new video that just dropped. So that way, again, we get around the algorithm. Or 3, it has our monthly Q&A session, and that one is for SMS text message subscribers only. It's the only way to get on that video, to be able to ask me questions, whatever you want, whatever kinds of questions you want. And that should be at the link here on your screen. And with that, let me know your thoughts on Pam Bondi, how she's doing so far, what you guys think she's doing with this 2A group, and why you think she's late on President Trump's executive order. I'll be interested. All right, thanks everyone. Look forward to seeing everybody in the next video.